Good morning, Hitesh bhai. Thank you for spending time with me this morning.
Very good morning, brother. Lovely seeing you. Chalo, a good mood, and I must congratulate you for this initiative. A very wonderful thought, and I really feel lucky to share a screen with you in this manner and on this in this talk. It's a wonderful feel. Thank you
Thank you,
so
sir.
much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Hitesh bhai, can you please introduce yourself, please, sir?
I'm Hitesh Gupta, mainly practicing on criminal side in Baroda, but conducting sessions trials mainly. Wherein for conducting sessions trials, I do often go to Ahmedabad, Surat, Bharuch, nearby districts in Gujarat. But not only in Gujarat, I do travel across for conducting sessions trials to Mumbai. I had been to Chennai. I had been to a couple of places in Rajasthan, Delhi, Calcutta. So, working on exclusive criminal side, I had been lucky enough to travel at many places in India and just exploring myself more on practicing in the criminal side.
Sir, you have been very modest. You have not said that you have a team of about 40 juniors in your office.
Yeah, yes, I've been blessed and lucky that whoever passes from the same university where you and me have been studying, the Maharaja Sayaraji Rao University, the students who do internship with me during their college days, they make it a point that they want to continue their junior days with me and practice with me, and having no option, I can't say no, and to them I do perform my duty for bringing up the next generation also with a big team now.
That's an excellent task, sir. I mean, administering or maintaining 40 juniors is a great job. You are actually teaching 40 students daily in your house, actually. So that's a great task.
That's what the even what learned from you also, that along with advocacy practicing in court, there is a duty casted upon us to bring the next generation some better lawyers tomorrow. So when we are not there, we would have many more better lawyers tomorrow who would be having some like-mindedness, who will be able to work in the same way wherein we are working. So perhaps better tomorrow for our fraternity. So that's what a duty that I am just trying in the best possible way.
Great, sir. Sir, can you tell me how it has become your passion to join law as your profession?
From my childhood days, from my primary school days, I would say, I had zeal towards this profession. There were a couple of friends of my dad, my father, who were lawyers. So through them, I had been interacting a couple of times. So it attracted me, this profession. Apart from this profession, of course, there was a medical profession also, which was attracting me. But then slowly I realized that MBBS is very difficult going through the science stream and all. So I preferred that wherein a bit easy go profession wherein I'll be able to do what I want to, as well as the study path, the academic path should not be too difficult. So that's why I selected this profession. But yes, when I was in school, my primary teachers who are still in touch with me, they do recall those days when I was in 6th and 7th standard, when they tell me, which I recollect very well, that from childhood days you used to tell me that, Madam, I'll become a lawyer one day and I'll come and meet you. So perhaps a childhood dream which has come true now.
Right, sir. Sir, how and which college you have joined your law graduation from?
I had done my law graduation
Sir, when have you, which college have you done your law graduation?
After completing my BCom from Maharaja Sayajirao University, Vadodara, I continued in the same university for my law graduation also. And after completing my law graduation, my master's in law also I continued doing from the same university at Baroda.
Sir, we know that you are also pursuing your doctorate now. How? What is the reason for pursuing your doctorate after having such a gigantic practice in the profit? I mean, practice as a lawyer.
One thing which I always was having zeal towards my studies, that I wanted to achieve the peak of whatever studies I'm doing. So PhD is that peak which I want to achieve. But along with this practice, yes, the PhD part, which is there, there's a small story behind it. After completing my master's in 2006, uh, this entrance of PhD I had given in 2010 in Maharaja Sayajirao University only, and I was very firm that I would be doing my PhD again from the same university only. I didn't want to change my university or college and didn't want to pursue from any other place. So what had happened that after clearing my PhD entrance, this profession had been a small hurdle in doing my PhD. I had taken up a case because of which no one was ready to become my research guide from the university. Uh, there were some reluctancy. I do understand that there are instances where if we take up some case, that might be at times the counterparts might not be willing to come up for assisting us on few things, and that part I was well aware of. So after taking up that case, now that case has ended up on a positive note, and after 10 years now, I have got the admission in PhD. So now I'm doing my PhD research on the subject in which I am practicing. It's been more than 15 years now. I am practicing on the criminal side exclusively. So whatever I have learned from this 15 years practice, I want to do some more research on that. So the topic also which I selected was the problems which are being faced by the investigating agencies who are doing this criminal investigation. So that's what my topic. My main topic is criminal investigation in India, all related to what all I have learned from my sessions trials. Why, what are the loopholes because of which not maximum sessions trials are ending in conviction. But yes, goal which I would say of my life, that one thing where after completing LLM, I felt like there was something missing after my studies. Almost after 15 years of my advocacy, I would be now doing that.
Very well, sir. Sir, we have been I mean, I'm aware that you have a family business and which has been started by your grandfather, and it's been very well-established business in Vadodara, very well-known business in Baroda. How can you
Yeah.
actually choose to prefer profession rather than not to join a business which you could easily do that?
So we were living in a joint family. So living in a joint family, I had 5 uncles and my grandfather, who all were there in the business. A very well-established business. My grandfather had started this business somewhere around in 1947, and thereafter, but at the same point of time, when I started my law, I was very focused that something which I want to do on my own. And all, they used to join this business. So what I used to see from my childhood days, that everyone used to get in the same business. So something new, which I felt like doing, that I should be doing something new. That is how the childhood dream which I had to become a lawyer, I thought of following it the same. And I thought of that business is there. It's a very good business, which even thereafter, if I cannot perform well in my advocacy, I would be able to carry on the business later on too. But with the grace of God, with the blessings of my senior and my parents, I was a bit able to do well in advocacy. And so then I thought of that, let the business be carried on by my uncles and all, and I can do the advocacy on my own, standing on my own footing.
That's it. Can you just tell us when have you started going to courts? At what stage you started doing that?
It was, I'll say, somewhere in 2002 when I was doing my second year law. When I started my second year law, I had not joined anybody's office at that time, but just to explore and to understand what is happening in the court, because the court was very nearby to my house also, where I used to stay. It was there in the old city itself. So I used to easily go there. There was never a requirement in the college to attend college very regularly. So I used to take that opportunity, and at times I used to go to the court just to understand what types of courts are there. Is it the same what we see in the movies, or is there something else that is there in the court? And when I actually went to the court, then I used to go to the college also and share the things with my friends, my colleagues who were there doing law with me, that what we see in the movies is not the same what is there actually in the court. It was in somewhere in 2002, 2003, I started exploring what is happening in the court. And thereafter, 2004, when I completed my LLB, I later on started going to court on a regular basis, joining a senior office.
Sir, what difference you find in the education in law now and education prevailing at your time?
A lot of difference. I would say during my days when I was doing this 3-year course, that time 5-year course was not there. So having no option after 12, we used to complete our graduation and then join this LLB course. Now at least that is very good, that whoever was having from the school days, like I was having a zeal from my primary, that what I want to do, I know very well. And thereafter, 12th, now there is a scope at least for students that they can do law if from after completing their schooling, they are having an inclination towards law. Previously, we used to say that all misfits used to fit in law. Wherever nobody used to get admission elsewhere, used to take admission in law. That aspect has totally been changed now. It is now a very professionalism has come up with this 5-year course. That's one of the best thing. On one hand, at least 1 year is saved. For this advocate to become a lawyer, 1 year is saved. At the same point of time, the way this 5-year course has been taken forward, like doing the internship at the regular level, exploring the courts while you are studying, and by the time you finish your 5th year, you have almost explored all the courts, like from the trial courts to the high court, and the Supreme Court also is already been witnessed by you. So that's the best thing which I feel is there. At the same point of time, though there is a gradual change which is going on in the legal education, some more changes I feel should be incorporated in the studies.
Can you elaborate on the changes that you are proposing?
This legal profession is, I always see it as a ocean. And students, while they are pursuing this 5-year course, even after finishing 5 years, they are not sure of as to where they want to practice, whether it is the trial court, whether is it the Supreme Court, or whether it is the High Court that they want to continue their practice, where they want to practice. So this confusion, I feel like, should not be there when the student is completing the fifth year. At least in the last semester, their aspect of practice should be clear as to what they want to practice, as well as the preparations for judiciary. Now, when after completing law, there is an immediate entitlement of joining the judiciary, you can appear in the judiciary exams, then there should be a preparation during this 5-year course itself, that those students who want to join judiciary also, they can prepare themselves while they are studying. Because what would happen that if they are immediately they are passing and then coming appearing in the judiciary exam, even if they pass, it would be a bit difficult for them to understand the practicality of law. And those are few things which, for a better judicial system, while they are studying, is required to be incorporated while they are taking the education itself.
Hitesh bhai, can you guide us on an issue as to whether a student who will be graduating in law, shall they start their practice with trial courts, or shall they pursue, I mean, they may also go ahead and pursue their practice with High Courts and Supreme Court? How much trial court practice would be essential for them?
Sir, I personally feel that at least 2 years trial court practice should be a must if somebody wants to practice in higher courts or Supreme Court. I would share my experience with one of the Supreme Court lawyers. He was not very well experienced, but still, the question which he posed, I just had a casual interaction with him regarding one of the cases. While I asked him for an anticipatory bail to be filed in Supreme Court, he counter questioned me that whether the charge sheet has been filed against that accused or not. So this very question was like, this is not, he was perhaps, in my opinion, not a fit person who should be practicing in Supreme Court. Because with this knowledge, if he is standing in front of the honorable judge, the question which might be coming, he would not be in a position that he would justify what case he is standing with. So that's the reason what I feel like is that at least 2 years trial court experience should be a must, so that he knows what is the ground level reality, how the remand procedures are there, which are done, what is an actual art of advocacy, sir. You are practicing at Supreme Court, so you know that well, that almost all the cases, all the evidences which are created at the time of trial, that are only explored by Honorable High Court and Honorable Supreme Court. So what happens is that the art of advocacy, how the evidence is created, what is happening at the trial court, unless and until an advocate, whoever is coming to the court, whether it is High Court or Supreme Court, until and unless he has witnessed all those small things, then appearing before the higher courts, I think that particular part of experience, if he is lacking, then it will be a bit difficult for him to experience with the future part. It would be a bit difficult for him to practice in the higher courts.
Right, sir. Sir, how have you started your practice? Like, with whom have you started and how have you started?
I started my practice in the year 2004. I had joined the office of one of the leading criminal lawyers, Mr. Kaushik Bhatt. I was lucky enough that I got the office. I was able to join the office of one such senior, wherein I got an opportunity to learn best of the things. I can tell you that whatever I am today as a lawyer, it's all because of him. Whatever I have learned from him, especially the art of cross-examination. Because, for criminal trial, whenever we conduct the trial and creation of evidence for a defense lawyer, it is very important that what to ask, and more importantly what not to ask.
True.
That particular part I was able to learn as I was with him. That art was with him only. I remember in my junior days, I had purchased one book, Art of Cross Examination. And when my senior saw that I had purchased this book with a thought that I would learn more on the cross examination side, he had pointed one thing to me: Hitesh, you can never learn cross examination from the book. This is one such art which has to be learned from the practice. That is the practicality of law, and which can be learned from the experience that we gain from the court. And he also told me that whenever you are in the court, if you are finishing it, getting free from one particular matter, you don't have any other office work to do, make it a point that you sit in the court and explore what all things are being done in the court by other lawyers too. And that's what I started gradually doing. I just made it a point to give maximum time in the court and learn maximum things on the cross examination when it is going on in the court. Sir, let me tell you that from my experience, Kaushik sir's cross examination was always to the point, very short, and that particular art I had seen in very, very few lawyers. Like the way he cross examines at times and the way he takes over, I tried my best to see that if I can achieve even 5% the way he is doing, I think that I would be able to justify my profession. It was a wonderful time I had spent with him. It was more than 6 years, starting from 2004 until 2010. I was there with him. But all those period, I would say that was the best of the time of my life as a junior. Exploring charge sheets, doing best of the things whatever I can do in my junior days to learn more and more, which after becoming independent, I could realize that what all things was been done by him at that time. It's now I can feel the worth of all those things.
So, any specific matter that has transferred your entire attitude towards the profession?
Uh, there were, see, again, I would say it was my senior with whom I was conducting a trial. It was a kidnapping case. One of the I would say, a very big trial. More than 101 witnesses were examined in that trial. And that was one of the best experience, because that was one matter which I used to conduct with my senior. I was so lucky that my senior was also understanding my keen interest in that particular trial. Whenever he knew that there are few panchas which can be easily taken up by me, he used to give me that stage that, okay, you try and take up the panchas and do the cross examination. So that one matter, wherein there was so much to learn in that matter. It was a huge, very big charge sheet. There was electronic evidence involved in it. There was a lot of things which was there in the FSL. People had done a lot of things in that, voice spectrography. So all those aspects, that one trial was there, wherein I had done a lot of research also, a lot of hard work in my junior days, which had changed a lot, made put in something for my junior days, that to bring me on this stage. And then a couple of bail matters, which again my senior had encouraged me to conduct that. In his absence, he encouraged me that you may take up this particular bail matter. It was a triple murder case wherein he was abroad, and gave me an opportunity that, Hitesh, if you are prepared well, I would not mind you conducting the matter. So that one particular case had boosted my confidence a lot. That when you conduct a trial, your senior is entrusting all his faith in you. You are conducting a bail matter. Your senior is conducting all his trust, inputting all his trust in you. It boosts the confidence like anything. And when that particular bail matter ended in a positive result, it was a triple murder case, and getting bail granted from a sessions trial, sessions court itself, it was a very difficult task as such, which now I realize. But as a junior, I was just at that point of time, I was too confident that I would be able to get the bail. With after this experience, I realized that it's not that easy. But maybe because of that positive effort and the blessings which was showered by my senior, I was able to succeed in that matter. So these two matters, I would say, were a life-changing matter for me. But thereafter, whenever I sit with my colleagues, sharing, or I don't tell my colleagues, I don't address them as my juniors, I address them as my colleagues. Whenever I sit with them and share my experiences as a junior, I always tell them that to every lawyer, every junior, life gives one good opportunity, one good case. Maybe it may be with the blessings of senior, it may be some client who approaches you, but there is always one such matter which can change your career. So if every case that comes up to us, if we give our 100%, you never know, it is that particular case which is going to change your life. And that actually happened. Thereafter, I was so confident taking up murder trials. I was so confident taking up any cases. And thereafter, when I succeeded, see what happens, that not only the first person who then trusts you more in this field is your own senior. And when your own senior is trusting you more, then you feel like that, yes, now I'll be able to do something. So in the junior days, if you are able to justify your work, what you are doing, then you are going to get some more difficult matters, difficult work from your senior, which he will be entrusting upon you. And that's what actually happened. Thereafter, my senior even made me argue very critical, I would say, a criminal trial. With the final arguments, he just boosted my confidence, and he told me that, Hitesh, this is one trial which is on a fag end now. The client was an under trial accused for almost 4.5 years. So, and it was a murder trial wherein there were mainly two sections. It was a 302 and 307 case, where the mother was a complainant and the deceased was the father. So a very technically a very difficult case it was. My senior again entrusted his confidence and trust in me. I was fully confident that I'll be able to argue the matter well. And I conducted that trial, though it ended in conviction, but not 302. It ended in a conviction in 304. and the conviction was only for 5 years. So technically, the client had to face only 6 months remaining period. But again, this one case, uh, that's what me and my senior later on used to talk on that particular aspect, that there is always one court which is above the court over here, is one this case. And this case I always share with my colleagues also, that whatever best efforts we give to the matter, ultimately it is the fate of the client what is going to happen. What had happened, sir, that the trial ended very positively. The person had to, as it was just 6 months that he has to undergo. Therein, in that case, the state had preferred an appeal against the order, because it was one of the rare cases where mother is the complainant, a victim of 307, father is the victim of 302, and in the house there were only these three people. The circumstantial evidence and everything was there, and murder weapon was there, everything was there. The state had preferred an appeal soon thereafter. Luckily, at the admission stage, the judgment of the trial court was upheld. And somewhere in April, the person was to be released. And while he was going to release, only 25 days were left while he was going to get released. And a very young person, almost 38 to 40 years of age, he passed away in jail for some disease that he was facing. Only 25 days were left. And that case it was a shock for us. In fact, while we had conducted the whole trial, during the period of these 4 years, he never shared, even with his own lawyer, he never shared the reason why he had committed this offense. And that was actually a puzzle. And with his death, that secret had gone away, that why he had committed the offense. But a case where the honorable court, the honorable trial court has pronounced a verdict, the honorable high court has upheld the judgment, and the person was going to get relieved in a couple of days, and that another court which is sitting up there had pronounced some other verdict giving him perhaps the capital punishment. Then I went to that particular court, informing the honorable judge that, sir, do you remember that case wherein before almost 6 months you had pronounced this verdict? So out of the curiosity, before I could say something, the honorable judge asked me from the dais that what happened? Your client must have been released by now. Then I told you that no, sir, he was about to get released, but unluckily he has passed away in the jail. Then the honorable judge said from the dais that perhaps something was left which was to be done by me, and the court sitting up there had justified this. But the secret of the crime had buried with his death. So this one case, what actually happens, sir, is what I feel. We are lawyers from morning to late evenings, we are just surrounded with such cases. But again, from these cases are such that which gives us more and more experiences and teaches more life lessons, I would say, at times. And this is what has happened during and these all cases what are there, this was in my junior days which I had learned. Best of the cases, I would say, because it was a good office which I had an opportunity to get my experience. I had all the best opportunities to learn more and more from.
So whom do you like to attribute your success to? Any of your clients, senior, junior, whomever you want
to? Sir, I know what struggle my parents had faced for our upbringing. My younger brother is a judicial officer. My third brother is now he's in his on the fag end. He has just completed his law, and would be appearing for his last exams. Being the eldest one, I had witnessed very closely all the struggles that my parents had faced from my very young days. So the first and foremost is my parents, to whom I would attribute all my days of advocacy and whatever I have achieved till date. But yes, Mr. Kaushik Bhatt, who had been my idol, who is my, I would say, my father of the legal profession, is Mr. Kaushik Bhatt, whom I attribute everything with what I am today is because of him, I would say so.
Right, sir.
So my parents and my senior.
Right. So how do you prepare a matter? What is the procedure that you undertake to prepare a matter?
So see, law is the same. So it is, though with the verdicts which are pronounced, what I always do is, I would say since last 15 years, now we have been lucky enough that everything is online. We can do all our research work and citations, getting citations and everything is nowadays very easy. But what I do very perfectly, I would say, is jotting down the facts, understanding the facts. So whenever there is a file which I am working on, I would always make very sure that I know all the smallest of the facts very perfectly. And as a criminal lawyer, what was always taught to me, I even practice today very well on that part, that I make it a point that if it is a sessions trial, then do visit the place of offense. So going to the place of offense, seeing the topography, all the surrounding areas, and understanding the light situation and everything, and also going on that particular time itself when the alleged offense is committed. So all those small things, I make a note of it. I don't make the questionnaires as to what I have to ask to the particular witnesses, but yes, I read the whole file very nicely. I understand, I just read it once and I grasp it very well and jot down the points that what is the line of defense which is to be made. And developing that line of defense is very important. So I just understand the facts very well. And once I'm very much clear with the facts, before I even think of conducting the trial and all, I even make it a point that which are the citations at the end of the trial are to be relied upon. Most of the citations I am ready before the trial is to be conducted. So reading the file, reading the provisions also, and the research work is to be completed before the trial is conducted.
Right, sir. So what are your other hobbies?
Hobbies, spending, first and foremost, is I love spending at least a couple of hours with my friends. And previously, before it, I had now since almost 2 years, I'm not able to do that. But even if I'm leaving my office at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, once I used to finish my dinner, I used to again leave my house at around 11, 12 o'clock. Yes, of course, after doing my homework, so far as the next day's matter used to be there. And then spending late nights, like almost 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I used to be out with my friends. Nobody used to be from the legal field, but one of them was praise reporter, the other was some builder, but all from different fields, who never used to gather because they are from a particular profession, particular field, but all with pure hearts used to gather, spend time together, and used to live. I'm not able to do that anymore. But now, with the passage of time, things have changed. Now I have pets at my place. So what I do early morning, I spend at least 1 hour with my pets. I have a dog. I have a couple of birds at my exotic birds at my place.
Mhm.
So I just spend time with birds and my dog. So that's how. That's one hobby now which I have developed well. And apart from that, photography, which I have a small passion
Oh,
about photography.
great, great, sir. Sir, what changes do you expect in the legal fraternity post lockdown after all that we have a chance to self introspect?
So the one thing which this period has taught me, and perhaps many like us, many like me, is family is the main thing which is required to be given the most importance. Work, of course, is very much important, but giving time to family is equally important. So, one thing now, perhaps, which would change for me especially is that before going to office, perhaps, and after finishing my code, I would be giving time. I would be coming home. I would be giving time to my daughter. I would be giving time to my family, spending some time with them, getting myself refreshed, and then I might be starting my office. That's what a change which I'm perhaps expecting from myself. That there will be a major change in the working style, perhaps not for me, but many like me who are perhaps staying full day away from the family.
Thank you, Hitesh bhai. Thank you very much for spending time and permitting and giving us an opportunity to interact with you. Thank you very much, sir.
It is. I'm telling you, I'm feeling myself very lucky. When I was narrating my junior days and all, I was being a bit nostalgic also, but feeling very lucky for giving me this opportunity and for creating such a wonderful platform. Wherein, for I think all these things is going to very well if juniors by these visuals also can understand. Uh, how this profession is, and especially the nobility of this profession. If the upcoming juniors through this platform can understand, it is going to work, make wonders, sir. And all credits to you and your team.
Thank you.
Please pass on my regards to your team also, and do make me a part of your team whenever you feel like, or any of such efforts in future, sir.
You are
Thank you
always a
very much.
part, sir. You are always a part. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.